Darkcast Network. Out of the shadows comes the best of indie podcasts.
Welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast, where two lifelong horror fans talk all things horror. Pour yourself your favorite drink and hang out. Here are your hosts, Josh and Jake.
Hey guys, welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
And on today's episode, we are going to be talking to
our first ever in-person guest, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's a special guest.
Okay. Local author CII Jones.
Yes, welcome him on into the show. Come on in, kid. Ladies and gentlemen, we are super excited to have our first in-person interview ever. CII Jones. We're just going to call him Caleb for the episode. Before we get super into this episode, Jake, what would we like to let anyone new to our podcast know?
As always, like and subscribe on YouTube.
Pretty please.
Also find us on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
We're on Apple.
We are.
As well as Google.
We are.
Even Instagram. J Squared Horror Podcast. Link tree in the bio. New episodes. Every Thursday.
Every Thursday. Yes. Thank you for joining in,
triple
Cam.
snap.
Yes, triple snap for the first time ever. Every Thursday, two lifelong horror fans like to talk about all things horror. And by all things horror, holy shit, are we pushing the envelope this week with a local horror author. If you don't know, you can go to www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com. You can ask to be on our podcast. As you see here, it works out pretty well. If you go on there, you can email us directly on there, and we can either do an episode idea or actually have you on the show. Caleb's a good example of that. We are super excited to have him on here. Caleb, is there any websites or anything that fans can check out to check out any of your books or anything you got coming up?
Yeah. My personal website is www.ciijones.com. That website's constantly under construction, so it's not the prettiest place, but
No, we totally understand that.
You can come over, order some signed copies if that's your thing, or have links to all of the books that I sell via Amazon. I'll be throwing some merch up there for the upcoming book release that I've got coming out in just a couple weeks.
Upcoming book release?
Yes.
Holy shit. We got you before you got big. Imagine that. That's fucking exciting.
Yeah, I'm Stephen King money bound
here
in just a few weeks.
Fuck yeah, we love that, man. Well, welcome to the show. If you guys know anything about our podcast, we are an unscripted podcast that just likes to open up communication about horror movies or horror books or horror ideas. This is exciting news that you have an upcoming book, man. If you want to shout that out at any time during the podcast, just let us know. Basically, what I was wondering is you are a horror author. You are you have skin in the game, which I respect more than anything because I've put a little bit of skin in the game myself, not into the capacity you have. But if you were to compare yourself to, say, a fictionalized author, do you think you're more The Shining, or do you think you are more like Secret Window? What would you give yourself?
Oh, jeez.
Come out with the hard-hitting questions.
These are both like really bad options because one, I'm murdering everybody, and two, I'm murdering everybody.
Exactly.
So
like, which way are you murdering people?
I would like to say that if it were coming to that, I was having a complete mental collapse. I would have the cunning that the author from Secret Window does.
Okay, fuck yeah.
Because obviously Jack Torrance is just a mad lunatic running around a hotel. But of course, I would have to admit that if you locked me up through the winter in a big empty hotel, I'd probably end up running around with an axe too.
No, yeah, fuck yeah. I understand that completely, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I love that you said Secret Window, Johnny Depp. Because I would, I've known you for a little while, but I would say if I had to guess, it would be more that vibe, if you will. Because yeah, you're right. I mean, the circumstances of you being in The Shining would have to be how The Shining played out. So it's tricky, but I had to ask that question. I've been.
Secret Window is a super underrated movie too.
It's a great movie.
I
It
totally
is.
agree.
It is such a great movie. It's one of my all-time favorites. I can't believe that more people don't either know about it or talk about it.
John
But
Turturro in that, John Shooter.
yeah,
It's
fuck
just
yeah.
so good.
You stole my story.
You stole my story.
It's fucking
I'm still
great.
waiting for somebody to show up on my doorstep and do that.
Yeah, I've always wanted somebody to show up on mine and be like, "You stole my podcast," and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, dude! Give me the link, bro. Like, what podcast did I possibly steal?
How many listens you getting?
Yeah, how many views and listens you got, bro? Because we need those numbers." That's fucking exciting, man. Well, welcome to the fucking show, man. I'm happy to have you here. This is cool, man. If you gun to your head, if you had to choose your favorite
Another gun to your head
gun to your head situation, yeah. Our fans can't see the text threads we have. Gun
Last
to your
time
head.
there was a gun to the head situation, it did not end well for Josh.
It did not end well for me, but we'll get to that. What would you say your favorite horror movie of all time is?
I would go with Rosemary's Baby.
Rosemary's Baby.
With a gun to my head.
With a gun to your head. Because I didn't physically put a gun to your head last time. It's funny because I had hit Caleb up with this question just a couple nights ago, and we were preparing for the episode, and I kind of wanted to have an opportunity to have some information on his favorite movie, but we got lost in translation. And he just came up with Possession. And I was like, oh, okay. I looked it up. I was like, fuck yeah, Possession, 1982. I'm gonna watch it this weekend. So while I'm watching it, I text him. I'm like, hey man, you mean Possession from 1982? He might have been sleeping. He has a life. Like obviously he has way more of a life than I do, because he didn't reply. So I watched all of Possession from 1982, and it is a shit show of a movie. And I had to sit through it and not know until the next day that is not what he meant.
So I haven't given you the full spectrum of the story on mine. So I was working when Josh sent me this text, and for some reason I registered it as a favorite type of horror. And I was like, I like folk horror, and just kind of shot the text off and went back to work. And then you said the gun to the head, what's your favorite horror movie? And I was like, Possession, because I was still in my mind thinking, like, what's your favorite type of horror? And I was like, Possession really scares me.
Yeah.
2 days later, I wake up to take care of my baby at 3 o'clock in the morning to a text that says, are you talking about the Possession from 1982? And I was like, I would scroll through the text and I was like, oh shit, he asked me what my favorite horror movie was, like flat out. I was like, I have seen the movie Possession. And I didn't hate it as much as you did.
I fucking hate it. Yeah.
But it's not a movie that I would necessarily just casually throw out as a recommendation.
Favorite of all time.
Definitely not my favorite of all time. And I had to apologize profusely for letting somebody sit through that was not quite prepared.
I
do that.
I wasn't at all prepared for that, and I won't make Jake do it. I was considering maybe just like acting like it was a random idea for us to cover. I couldn't even make you do that, dude.
I mean, as long as it's okay, let me high phrase this. As long as Jason Takes Manhattan is better, we're good.
Jason Takes Manhattan is a fucking Scorsese film.
Boom, there we go.
To the fucking
So I will never watch
from
that movie then.
Oh man. So man, let's get to know you a little bit more, man.
Sure.
What got you into? Let's just say what made you want to write horror novels or books or anything like that? Like that's a fucking stretch, dude.
I always wanted to do something creative. It took me a while to realize that it was writing. For a while, I thought that I was going to be, a director. I really wanted to get into making film, and I realized that required probably going to film school, or instead I got the equally as useful degree of English Lit, which gets you all the jobs in the world.
Yeah, I'm sure they're lining up. They're lining up around the block to have you interview there.
Yeah.
Job there.
So I realized that more than anything, what I liked about movies was just the stories that created them, and I realized I didn't have to necessarily shoot a movie to create a story, so I just started writing. And it wasn't horror at first. I've always had like a love for horror.
Yeah.
But at first, and I feel like a lot of writers go through this, I felt like I needed to write really, really serious things about, the American struggle, or trying to write, some shit like On the Road by Kerouac. And then like I was just like, I there was a point where I was continuously writing these things. Yeah. And it's just like, they all suck. All of this shit sucks because it's not like it's important to me, like the themes that I was trying to cover in those stories, but like it wasn't fun. Yeah. And like I think that there's probably a lot of artists out there that'll disagree with me. Yeah. When I say this, but I feel like art should be enjoyable to create.
Yes, I agree with that. Yes, I agree with that. I agree 1,000%. Just look at our podcast.
If you're not enjoying it to at least some degree, then like it's probably not going to be very good.
No, you're right. It's not going to come across as authentic.
So after a while, trying to write these super serious novels and stories, I was just like, it's not working. It's not enjoyable. So like, let's just throw some spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And I tried a couple of crime stories and actually wrote an entire crime novel that I stand behind. I think it's good. No, I'll get it out there someday.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That's awesome.
But
I'm sure some of the Darkcast Network would enjoy that. That's damn sure. They love their true crime shit.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do. I'm not knocking.
Yeah. And then it just kind of naturally moved into horror. I mean, that was when I was young and like thinking that I wanted to make movies. Yeah. That was the type of movie that I was always gravitated towards, just horror.
Yeah.
Going into FYE and convincing the people at the front table that it was totally okay to sell a copy of High Tension to a 13-year-old.
Yeah, we can totally buy this. Hell, half those FYE employees were 3 years older than us. And they don't give a fuck anyway. For all you young bucks out there, FYE was our favorite place to go as music and movie connoisseurs.
Place ruled.
That place was fucking awesome. You just scan the fucking boop, and you can listen to the music, and then you could just hit the horror section.
I remember they had the big one in Town Center.
Yeah, it was like a physical store.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fucking awesome.
I remember I got into an argument with a guy who was named Kevin.
Fuck you, Kevin.
Who worked there.
Fuck you, Kevin, if you're still out there.
So I went to buy a copy of Friday the 13th. Not the original one. I think it's part
8. Jason takes me.
No, I already had that.
5 copies of that.
I think it's part.
I'll take all.
How many copies?
They had 30 on stock because nobody else was buying them.
What's funny is when I went to buy it, there was like at least 20 of them.
Yeah, dude,
it was a shit ton. I think it was part 7.
Yeah,
and so he scans it. He's like, "Is this the one with the girls who's a psychic, right?" I said, "No, it's telekinesis."
You fucking asshole.
He goes, "No, it's a psychic." I said, "That's not the same thing, dude."
It's technically not. No.
Yeah. He said, "Well, you sure?" Now I'm like maybe 22 at this point.
Yeah.
I got into a literal fucking argument with this guy about this movie no one gives a shit about.
Yeah, 0 people give a fuck about it. You're standing your ground. Yeah, that's anyway. Of course, of all people, is the person I decided to create a podcast with that's so fucking argumentative about the dumbest fucking things in the world.
So
hey, that's not dumb. That's like saying that Carrie could read minds. She couldn't.
Yeah.
She just moved shit.
That was my fucking example.
Okay.
That was my example, literally.
So I'm fucked this episode because I'm sitting next to 2 of the smartest guys I've probably ever fucking met. In there, they love horror, so they can just bring out all these facts against me. Then, I'm like, yeah, she's a psychic. And it's like, no, you fuck. She's telekinetic. Like, what the fuck?
And then I said to him, name me one example to where she can read the future in that movie.
Damn, dude.
Just
that's
name
the
one.
shit you would do to me.
Did you shut him up?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you had to have shut him up.
All right, have a good day.
Just put it in the bag.
Thank you.
Have a good
There you go.
Yeah.
He didn't even ask you about the magazines. He was like, nah,
Yeah.
nah. He ain't even going to sign
Get
up for
this
FYE
dude
Plus.
the fuck up outta
He's
here.
getting the fuck up out of here.
Didn't even ask you if you wanted to buy a Michael Myers Pez
Yeah.
dispenser.
I would have bought it, like, for sure. That's fucking hilarious. This is exactly how I wanted this to go. This is fucking great. Random fucking stories of our youth and lives and horror. This is exactly what I wanted.
So, a question for you, Caleb.
Sure.
Yes.
Have you always been like a lifelong fan of horror?
Good question.
Okay, so to a degree, yes.
Okay.
There's a place. I'm gonna give you a little Caleb history here.
Fuck yeah.
Some CII Jones.
CII Jones history, ladies and gentlemen.
Mark it down. So in the Shenandoah Valley, there's a warehouse that when I was young, it was only open like 3 weekends out of the year. It's called the Green Valley Book Fair,
Okay.
Ooh.
and they would just have like wholesale books that like didn't sell in like actual bookstores,
Uh-huh.
and then got returned, and then they would ship them off to this this warehouse in the Shenandoah Valley, this BFE, and they would just discount the prices to just ridiculously low. And I remember being maybe like 7 or 8 years old and walking around the kids section, and seeing the cover of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh, shit.
guys know
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was horrifying. The image on the front was horrifying, and I think there are many a 90s child that probably has really horrifying memories of flipping through those books, and that was pretty much the moment that I was just like, oh, this is something that I'm very interested in. It terrifies me.
Yeah.
I was like scared of everything as a kid.
Yeah. We can relate on
And
that.
those books probably
CII Jones.
those books probably had something to do with it, but
Probably played a big fucking part into it, if you ask me.
I just couldn't avoid it though. It was just very interesting to me.
Yeah, it's so crazy to me, like the moment of like horror fandom for a lot of people. Like mine was broken by The Exorcist when I watched it when I was 6 years old. And Jake hasn't been scared of anything.
Shout out to the shirt he's got on.
Yeah, fuck yeah! Look, he's even rocking it for me,
never,
man.
I
Look at that.
never get to wear this shirt.
That's awesome,
I'm
man. You
so
wore it
happy.
on the
Yeah.
fucking J Squared Horror Podcast when the guy to your fucking right.
Are you excited for the new movie?
Yeah, how do you feel about the new movie? And that's so fucking crazy that you
So
mentioned that.
I actually just saw a like an internet ad for it today.
Okay.
Internet ads.
and,
Ladies and gentlemen,
like-
the 90s are here.
I saw it in the newspaper.
I was doing my crossword puzzle, and I happened across this page.
So I jumped in a time machine to the early 2000s. It was a Facebook ad or
Yeah,
an Instagram
yeah.
ad, one of those, and it was showing like a pretty extended clip of Helen Mirren, or not Helen Mirren. Who's the mother from
We
the
are
original?
terrible at names on this podcast.
Gosh, I'm not gonna remember her
Come on,
name.
Jake.
But
Come on, Jake.
I got her face
We got the image
in your
All right,
in my mind,
yeah.
so I got it. Go ahead.
Our fans should too.
so she's being brought back for the new movie,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
was super cool.
Yeah.
But she's like confronting the possessed girl that's in the new movie.
Yeah.
And like she has like this fit where she's like writhing all around, and like in the original Exorcist, it's so terrifying because
Scared.
she actually like was getting whipped around on that bed, and
Yeah.
like the lead actress got injured
Yeah.
in the making of that movie because of like very, very rudimentary practical effects.
Yeah.
And in
Yeah.
this clip that they're showing in the ad, it's like very CG and like,
Yeah.
and like,
It's like it's gonna
Change.
miss the mark.
yeah,
You know, and it's just like
and like, same for Exorcist 3, which is a super underrated movie. I don't know if
I have not personally seen it because
what
I was so
I've
fucking
listened to
tormented
on
by
the-
the first one.
yeah, from what I've
Yeah.
listened to, I would assume that you've never watched it.
No, I just
Um,
rewatched The Exorcist for the first time like
It's just
like
great
8 months ago.
great practical effects that like are just like they might not look as realistic or like gory, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they look better because they feel like this is actually happening, and that's my worry about the new Exorcist movie.
That's a very solid worry in any fan that appreciates practical and like what those actors and actresses went through and all that shit. Like if you watch
any modern horror movie is a concern.
Yeah. Anything that comes out that is at all tied to something else, you have to slightly panic about that. You have to. I mean, you look at Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, and they remade that shit and it was fucking trash. They had CGI fucking mask and shit. It's like, why? Like if they got away with it in the 80s when it was all practical, why the fuck can't we do that now?
So I heard for the new one, they're doing the same thing.
CGI?
Yeah.
Fucking
that's
shit,
what I heard.
Dude.
That's what I heard so far.
What's crazy is when I went to see Talk to Me in theater, I saw the Exorcist fucking trailer.
Yeah.
And it's like they doubled it down, bro.
Double team.
Yeah, I got fucking doubled down on fucking scary ass children. Children scare the shit out of me anyway. Everybody knows this already. But they doubled down on the fucking scary women, little baby things, on this fucking movie. But it's like I have the same fear. It's just like I'm gonna go out of my way to see this movie, and I'm gonna be let the fuck down because like. Yeah, of course. Watching the original Exorcist in 2023, you're not going to be like that impressed. But if you saw it back in the day or you appreciated it when it came out, people were vomiting in theaters. This shit was making news articles like we were kind of joking about earlier, newspaper and shit like that. Like people were fucking terrified to go see this movie. And you miss that because of like A, social media, B, fucking kids are fucked up today and they're not scared of anything. But it's like, it's crazy because I also heard, and this is the fucking probably the lamest fact I'll ever mention on the podcast, but I was trying to figure out a way I could slip this in today, and you guys fucking set me up beautifully. Did you know that they moved the release of this movie up a week?
Why?
Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift now has an effect in the movie marketplace because her Eras tour now has a fucking movie that was harder to get tickets for than like Spider-Man Homecoming and shit like that, where they were like, the Exorcist production team was like, yeah, no, we're not going to release the same fucking weekend. Is that, you kidding me? Move that shit up a week. Because they moved it like closer.
Dude,
like
that's
sooner.
That's what fucked up Cobweb.
Yeah, dude.
I don't feel like you guys have ever touched on this on the pod.
Probably
from
not.
What
We
I've
don't touch on
listened to.
anything.
Are you guys...
We barely touch the surface of movies, bro.
Are you guys... you guys aren't Swifties, right?
I mean, like, I used to be, and then I saw Aaron Rodgers at a Swiftie concert, and I was like, fuck Taylor Swift, fuck Aaron Rodgers, because I'm a Packer fan, and I hate all of you now. But why do you say that?
Oh, because I'm not.
You're not a Swiftie at all.
Actually, like, I'm kind of neutral on the Exorcist release, but
I mean, I'm kind of stoked that it comes out a week earlier, but like at the same time,
melted my heart.
Like the fact,
it melted my soul, not my heart. That was depressing.
It's very depressing that, like, no offense, Tay-Tay, and all you Swifties out there,
dude. I listened to like half of 1989 like today.
I fucking love 1989.
Yeah.
No
so
offense.
you're a Swiftie?
Like legit, I did.
For the first time ever?
No, just
Oh, because you were like, I've been missing some 1989 in my life, so I'm gonna.
It's that time.
Yeah,
I was cutting my hair to it today. Like no bullshit.
The shit you wouldn't hear on any other episode, ladies and gentlemen. Jake cuts his hair to Taylor Swift. We have a Swiftie on the podcast.
Out of respect to Jake, I'm not going to.
No, rip him a new one.
I will say I'm very excited for the Eras documentary film that's being released.
Okay.
And I think all three of us should go get tickets now.
Dude. No, we can't even.
Right
It's
now.
already fucking sold out, I'm
And
sure.
the week before, we'll go see The Exorcist.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go see The Exorcist together and let's go fucking Tay-Tay up.
But that's crazy.
It's just
that
crazy
she
to me
can
that
affect
she
shit like
has that effect. Like, I get, like, they're saying, like, her tour is this, like, fucking, like, better than Michael Jackson, better than the fucking, you know, like, Queen and, like, shit like that. And, like, okay. But, like, we're, like, the economy, like, the American peoples are fucking struggling out here.
People are
and
probably saving up
motherfuckers
to go.
can pay. I think the average ticket price for a Taylor Swift concert is $1,500.
I got put on a waiting list 2 years ago to see Adele in Vegas. When the tickets finally were available, they're like $3,000.
And you didn't go.
I was like, nah, I'm
Is that
good.
for resale or?
Just like to go.
Jeez.
Dude.
Because she canceled it, so they pushed it back because she had like some breakdown or some shit.
Yeah, the fact that they can get away with that shit drives me bonkers.
Yeah, like, dude.
Drives me fucking bonkers.
I love some Adele.
I mean,
not that much.
I love Adele too. Don't get me wrong.
Not that much.
And this podcast has definitely taken a J-squared turn.
It has. Taylor Swift, Adele.
Yeah, we're all over the fucking map.
I'm definitely more of an Adele fan.
I would say
Swiftie.
I would agree.
I would say that
agree.
Adele's like vocal talents and like songs are good, great.
They're a lot better.
Taylor Swift just has this like fucking hold. Like she's grabbing the dick of America and not letting it go. Like fucking strong gripping that shit, you know? And it's fucking terrible. Like I get.
Wasn't she on that show Scream Queens?
I don't fucking know. Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
I don't. What
Like
was
an episode?
Queens? Oh, that shit with Emma Roberts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
You guys see the previews for the new American Horror Story?
Yeah, Kim Kardashian's in it. Fuck, I'm out.
Boo.
She's not an actress.
She's not an actress. She's an actress.
So that's not boo to Kim K at all. That's the boo to just that to see her. I'm done with
American Horror Story needs to fuck off.
That show hasn't been good since season 3.
I would say season 2.
Maybe,
but yeah, I'll give you 3.
maybe 4. I mean, the first 2
What's
seasons.
his freak show? Was that 4?
I think that was 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I like the first season. I liked Roanoke, surprisingly.
Roanoke was like 5 or
Roanoke's not
6,
bad.
right? Yeah.
And I liked 1984.
The first 2
Of
seasons.
course, you like
it gave you
1984. I gave
real-
you the camper shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love
The
it.
first 2 seasons are undeniable classics.
Yeah.
Asylum,
respected in
Asylum
horror.
legitimately scares the shit out of me.
Okay.
Freak House fucked me up.
yeah.
When that hot lady was old, bro. That gave me Shining vibes, bro. Like I can't.
Yeah,
I've already been through that once. I've already looked at tits and been like, yeah, and then
all
they're
of a
fucking
sudden
old,
they're
and you're like,
rotting right
no. Like fuck, dude. I struggle enough to see tits in my personal life. Why you gotta ruin them for me on
Yeah, but
film?
there's certain shows and there's certain movies too in horror within themselves.
Yes.
They overdo.
American Horror Story.
This is one of them.
It's
Yeah.
definitely gotten to that.
I
point.
don't
It's done.
understand. I don't understand why it's still being made. I
don't
feel
either.
the same
It
way
should not
about
have- yeah.
The Simpsons. The Simpsons has been on longer than I've been alive.
I also feel that
Just
way
give up.
about Stranger Things.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I'm done, dude.
Here's
I
the
don't know.
thing,
That
though.
last season.
That last season was
good.
phenomenally good. It's the best season they've had.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
The best season?
Yeah, we covered it. We haven't covered any other season on this podcast.
I
Mic
thought-
drop.
Caleb? Best season?
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Season
last season.
4?
Yeah, season
Yeah.
4.
And like, but at the same time,
I prefer season 3. Just put
At
it
the
that
same
Season 3
time,
is good.
That's the best season.
I think the point that you were about to make was that season was okay, but they
Yep.
need to hang it up.
Yeah.
100% agree.
Okay.
110% agree, but also because of the writer's strike and everything that's going on in Hollywood right now,
they're done.
not Horrorwood.
They're going to be fucking R8 when the
dude,
next season comes
They've already
out.
said that they're using like fucking de-aging CGI on these fucking people.
Boo.
Like, fuck you guys. Hang up the cloak.
Yeah.
Just say,
don't
hey
want
guys,
that. I'm
we
good.
missed our mark. Eddie Munson died. Everything went fucking
Because
crazy. The Upside Down won.
They
Like,
did that
fucking
shit in
cool.
It Chapter 2.
Yeah.
The de-aging. It looked
Yeah.
terrible.
It looked terrible.
Yeah. Don't do it.
De-aging
Fuck.
is, just upsetting. In the same way that CG in general is.
Yeah. I don't understand though. Like, we have progressed in all makeup and like cinematography skills. How? Why? I guess cost efficiency.
For the de-aging stuff?
No, just for in general, like horror or like any type of CGI versus practical.
Yeah, it's just cheaper.
But is it? Because there, you look at fucking Avatar. It cost fucking $800 billion to make because everybody's wearing fucking balls on their face.
No, that's different.
And they're
'cause
fucking
he's
aliens, right?
generating.
That's the entire movie. Or most of it, at least.
Also, he is literally.
So I'm the idiot again. Okay, cool.
No.
Let's go ahead and have
James
this.
Cameron is literally generating new technology with what he's
Okay.
doing. I hate
So
to-
Avatar was a bad example.
Sorry.
I'm fucking sorry.
I don't know if I'll step on any toes. I do not like Avatar,
I do not either. It's
I don't
Pocahontas
either.
with changed names.
But-
like fuck, it is.
but I mean,
I said what I said.
James Cameron's thing is like, pushing the boundaries of visual effects, and he did the same thing with both Avatar movies,
Yeah.
and I can't take that away from him.
I mean, you can't take
He
it
needs
away
to get
from
back to making
Movies.
Terminator.
Yeah, movies.
Jeez.
You know, I mean, yeah, if you watch it now, you can see the strings and all the car accidents, but that's not the point.
We mentioned before, some sequels better than the original.
Yeah,
Terminator 2, better than the original.
Dude, I couldn't tell you Terminator 1 from Terminator 2.
100% right.
Yeah, you guys have this out. You guys talk about it. That's cool.
Okay.
I'll just.
Terminator
I
1.
can probably go piss at this point. I kind of do have.
The original
it is.
Terminator is like
yeah, you
is
guys have it.
great.
I'm gonna pee real quick.
It's fine. But Terminator 2 literally has a man walking through a jail cell, and it's still almost 30 years later looks incredible.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I could talk about Terminator 2 forever. It's actually like a top 10 movie for me.
Really?
Oh yeah. I love
It is
that
a very good movie.
the Mack truck versus Harley chase through the runoff river. It's just like, I don't think I've ever been that thrilled watching a movie. And like, I admittedly have watched that upwards of 50 times.
How do you feel about the sequels?
Did I miss anything important, guys?
What's the one where Christian Bale like starts
that shit is
like
fucking-
Resurrection or
started
something?
That shit
screaming
is
Salvation?
fucking trash.
He screamed at like the best thing that we got out of that movie was the leak of him like screaming at his at his production team about
Terrible
like
movie. Terrible movie.
tripping over his lighting or whatever. The movie
Although-
in general sucks.
I love Christian Bale. American Psycho, good movie.
Oh
American
yeah,
Psycho's a great movie.
have
Thank
you
you
guys
for
covered that?
thank you for reeling this back into horror for me, guys, while I went on tinkle
Yeah,
break.
you're welcome. Yeah. Now we can tag you back in.
Yeah. No, American Psycho is tricky for us to cover because we're not smart. We've talked about it
We got someone smart here.
3 or 4 times. Would you like to be on an episode where we cover American Psycho?
Yeah, I can talk about the book if you guys want.
Oh
me
fuck,
to.
I wouldn't even.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Do that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
So that'll be the next episode you're on. We can cover American Psycho, and you can be
Yeah,
our guest
yeah,
speaker
yeah.
because
Oh
you
my-
know the book. I don't fucking know it.
I mean the
There's a book?
movie. Yeah.
Yes, there's a book.
Did it start as a book first? I don't fucking know.
Yes. Yeah.
You mean Christian Bale wasn't all of American Psycho? What the fuck is happening?
Yeah. I mean,
Jake is so disappointed in me right now.
I'm learning so much.
God damn it, Caleb.
sorry.
You two smart fucks get together and I'm just alienated
Anyway,
over here.
welcome to J squared minus 1J.
Welcome to
I'm
J squared C over here.
I'm
Fucking bullshit.
I'm taking over half of this podcast.
Hey, this guy writes books and he knows books. Imagine that. I
Oh, speaking
fucking
of books,
cover
I
movies.
did have a question about earlier.
Jesus,
Kids.
aggressive.
I know.
Yeah. Fuck.
Goosebumps or Fear Street?
Oh fuck. Okay. Damn.
I had more exposure to Goosebumps, so that would have to be my answer.
All right.
I know Fear Street was essentially like Goosebumps for big kids.
Yeah. Pretty
Yeah,
much, yeah.
it was.
But
Did
I-
you feel like they did a good job with Fear Street movies?
I watched the first one and I did not love it.
Get
so
the fuck
All
out
right,
of
so
here,
we're done
really?
with Caleb here.
Caleb's officially canceled, and I fucking brought it out, boys. Yes.
do I need to rewatch it?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, I'll
Dude.
go back and
Fear
rewatch
Street.
Well,
As far as
at
Netflix
least,
is
at
concerned,
least part 2.
as far as Netflix is
it.
concerned,
I only watched the first one. Second one's better.
Yeah.
Okay,
the
I'll
whole
watch it. I'll watch it.
the series as a whole is great.
Okay.
As far as Netflix is concerned, other than of course the fucking big dick Stranger Things, it's the best horror original content Netflix has ever put out.
I would agree. We were in Kentucky, I think. I watched all 3
I fell asleep
that one night.
because that motherfucker.
I
can
seen them
stay up
before, but I
forever.
watched
Yeah.
them all the way through.
I was like, "Hey, dude, we should watch Fear Street together." We didn't know each other very well, and we were very close in proximity of
Yeah.
sleeping. And I was like, "Yeah, Fear Street." And then like I got through like I don't know 3/4 of the first one, and then this motherfucker, I woke up the next day. He's up before me, and he's like, "Yeah, I finished them." I'm like, what the fuck? Like I was asleep, and you watched 2 other fucking movies, like 2.5 other movies, and still, like I really do feel like Fear Street. It's something that would be fun to cover. Have we covered?
No, so the first
I've
one,
covered Fear Street on the podcast.
I can see how it may not hold your attention the entire
Especially if you're not
movie.
90s horror at all. Like at all. It's
Listen,
definitely.
If you like Scream,
Yeah,
then
if you like Scream. Are my neighbors fucking cooking fucking pot roast? Jesus
It does.
Christ. It smells like fucking onions in here.
I'm getting that.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Welcome to the fucking Casa de Spooky over here. It fucking stinks, dude. It wasn't my pee, guys. I
I
flushed.
promise it's not me.
Yeah.
put
Wait. He's the one that's not usually here, and it stinks in here.
It's the first time I smelled
I
this.
put on deodorant for the first time in 2 months.
I'm mad your microphone was so far away when you said that because they might not have heard that. So that's fucking yeah, man. Also, it's like we're all very close in age. I would figure.
Yeah.
I think am I the youngest?
You're the youngest.
Fuck, I'm the fucking baby.
Well, that explains the whole.
Hate for Terminator.
There, my God.
What?
Nothing. Good.
Being stupid?
Wait.
You fuck.
I'm not gonna harp on this, but you hate Terminator?
I'm not a big fan of Terminator.
But the entire series itself.
Yeah, no. Arnold Schwarzenegger annoys the shit out of me.
Okay.
Do you like the Expendables?
Expendables. Oh, those fucking corny ass movies that came out recently?
Do you?
No.
Okay.
I like Jason Statham.
Just making sure.
I like Jason Statham.
You ever seen Wrath of Man?
Can we focus?
Have you or not?
What is Wrath of Man?
With
It's a
Jason Statham.
Jason Statham movie.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I have.
Check it out.
Also, have you seen that one Dragon movie with Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey? Ring of Fire? Rain of
Cash?
Fire?
Rain
Johnny
of
Cash?
Fire.
What?
Rain of Fire.
Rain of Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his worst. It's Christian Bale's worst. For sure.
You know, people say he's the best Batman.
He is the best Batman. Hands down.
Agreed.
Finally.
Yeah, okay.
Look at it. Look at the tables turning
Yeah.
per topic.
So,
Okay.
do you guys just have guests on here to see who can
Who
side
agrees
you
with
can-
who more? Yeah. That's the whole point in this is to see who
So
we
for
get
future guests, that's what you're up for.
buckle the fuck in because you don't know what we're going to talk about in order to get you to agree with us or not. No, I mean, I think Bruce Wayne wise, it's definitely Ben Affleck, but Batman, definitely Christian Bale.
I'll agree. The best Bruce Wayne is Ben Affleck.
Yeah, the best Bruce Wayne is
Yeah.
Ben Affleck.
I think second place, just to me, I like Michael Keaton. I do. Over Christian
Minus
Bale.
this shit.
Did you watch The Flash?
No,
No.
because I don't respect
I've not.
that actor in
Have
it.
you watched it?
Mm.
Well, I saw he's in the trailer, so I was like,
I saw it and I was like,
That
that's
was the only
that's
thing
almost worth
yeah.
me going to see it, but I don't respect the guy that plays Flash because of everything he went through, and people just looked right past it. He's beating the shit out of women in like Mexico and shit. Like that's fucked up.
yeah.
Like I don't respect. I'm not gonna give you my money. I'll watch it when it comes on streaming. Fuck yeah.
It's like people didn't watch the new Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah. If Jeepers Creepers can be canceled because the first director did what he did, you should respect yourself more into Marvel and DC as well. I'm just saying. Horror struggles enough, okay? We don't get asses in seats like fucking Marvel, okay? But damn, dude, DC, Marvel, fuck all that shit. We have an episode on it. Go check it out.
I listened to it.
Yeah, it was a fun one. Yeah. But nobody understood the concept of that episode, though.
Yeah, they did.
I mean,
They just didn't fuck with it, well, which is fine.
Damn. That's,
Well,
why'd you
yeah.
have to say it like that, dude?
'Cause
Fuck.
that's the facts. You know what these fans do.
Don't hate on our fans. We need them to love us. The fucking 13 of you that are out there, we fucking love you.
Well, the 13, they do love us.
Yeah.
The other,
Fucking
whoever,
50 to 100? We don't know.
No, it's something interesting about 13. Lucky.
I don't know about that.
how so?
Because if you have 13 fans on a podcast, you're not very lucky. Like you sold 13 books. How are you feeling? In total. That's what it's like releasing an episode every fucking week.
Well, I'm trying to think because that's about how many books I have sold and
Oh, Jesus.
kidding.
I was not expecting that. That was fucking awesome. The fact that he played right into it was fucking great. What?
You ever seen the number 23?
It's been a long time, but
Is
I
it
just
horror?
remember
Is it a horror movie?
it's horror adjacent.
Yeah, that's what we're
You
like-
fucks.
like
you fucks in your
se-
fancy terms.
Dude, we mentioned the horror umbrella.
Here's
Boom.
horror.
Yeah.
This is the number 23. You're close to each other.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
close enough.
So is Jurassic Park, all right? We
Yeah.
fucking solidified that.
Oh man, we could get into a conversation. I remember listening to you guys chat
arguments,
about
yeah.
Jaws and
Yeah, Jars and Jurassic Park.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Pretty solid horror content, if you ask me.
Okay, let's get back to what did you have to say about the number 23?
I was trying to change the topic.
Yeah.
Because I fucking hate being left out, man.
I know you were, but I think it's a good movie.
I'll take a sip of my drink and you guys talk.
And then we can move along back to whatever you're going to say, Josh. As long as it's not Jurassic Park related.
I think I was going to ask, the host has to wrangle this shit together, okay? It's tricky with you two smart fuckers. And your fucking Terminator fucking side rants and fucking 23 and me shit. I don't care about my family history, okay? I just want to talk about horror movies and horror books and shit, all right?
Okay, go ahead.
What do you think in the most recent, let's call it 4 years, 5 years. 5 years is a good number, 5 years. What is your favorite movie released in the last 5 years? I know. You have to think.
Is movies in general or horror movies?
Horror movie. Not
Okay.
movies in general. This is a horror podcast.
You said
fucker.
movie release. And before that, you just said Terminator. Just making sure. That's right.
Okay. Jake's being a dick. we're all gonna. While Caleb thinks, we're gonna keep the mics going.
Okay.
Your favorite horror movie released in the last 5 years?
I might be.
No, I want you to fully say it.
Mixed company here.
You might be.
I really love Midsummer.
Okay.
I know that the A24 gets like the pretentious bad rap, but
Not from the J Squared.
no.
Yeah, we respect A24 a lot. Actually, that kind of brings me to a fun little point that I was gonna do here. As you guys can tell, we have a very free moving podcast this time. But Caleb, we wanted to present you with a present this time.
Oh.
And since you're such an A24 fan and you just mentioned it, we would like to give you the Blu-ray digital copy of Vivitch or Witch.
No, I call it the Vivitch.
Vivitch, thank you so much. We wanted to thank you for coming onto the podcast for sure. And we wanted to give you a Blu-ray sealed copy of Vivitch.
I freaking love this movie.
I
I
like it
really
too.
do.
But why why
Now I'm trying to figure out what year this came out. 2015. Okay, that's out of the question
yeah.
because that's in the conversation.
It's in the conversation, but I knew it was kind of like precursor to that. So what about A24? I mean, obviously I feel like somebody that would write books and almost has like a deeper meaning for shit. Like, is that why? Like, can you appreciate some of the face level shit?
Yeah, I think that they're hitting the nail on the head. They had, I mean, not to get too into this
No, not at all.
conversation, but I mean, they're keeping their nose clean in the midst of all of this strike business.
Yeah, we've mentioned that before. Yeah,
because they actually give a shit about the people that are creating stuff.
and we
for
fucking
them.
respect the shit out of that.
And,
Yes.
and
That's why I went to go see Talk to Me.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I did.
And I think that they actually care about the people that are creating work for them.
Yeah.
And Ari Aster, the writer director of Midsommar and Hereditary, they really gave him essentially a blank check after Midsommar to make what is one of the most ludicrous movies I have ever seen in my life. Beau is Afraid.
Oh man, that's crazy. We just had a fan request
You
for us to
did,
cover that.
This
Is
is
it
what I'm
good?
going to tell you about this.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Okay. Yeah.
I really, really do. I would not recommend, much like Possession, I would not necessarily recommend that movie to anybody. I really liked it.
It has been recommended though, so
And I mean,
we have to do our due diligence.
You guys are in for a treat. It's like a 3-hour long movie.
Yeah, 3+. Yeah.
And I like it. But they're a quote unquote small studio.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
But what studio that has the money and the clout that they do is just giving money to what you would call an auteur and just letting them do what they want to do.
No, yeah.
And that's I think that's why I have a lot of respect for them. And because they allow their writers and their directors and their actors to just go for it in the way that they do, I think that they're just generating some of the most interesting films that are coming out in the horror genre.
Yeah.
And I mean, beyond that, I mean, they're, got Everything Everywhere all at Once.
Yeah,
like, it's not a horror movie, but it's from their studio. Like,
Almost in the umbrella,
yeah, they're
as you
they're
guys would
just,
so mention.
they're just they're giving people the ability to do what they want and to really express themselves creatively, and I gotta respect that.
Yeah.
And honestly, it just ends up creating better work. I mean, it factors into exactly what I was talking about earlier, where it's just like, I was writing all of these super serious books and stories, but like, it wasn't fun for me, and it didn't really mean as much to me as like working within a genre. I think that these things mean something.
Yeah,
you know?
I respect the shit out of A24 for that, and I like that I was able to bring this full circle, as we so like to mention on this here podcast. Creative freedom and creative abilities in such a niche genre of films, especially in the midst of what we're going through right now. Not us three, but cinema fans and people that are sick and tired of these, massive fucking corporations taking control of everything. There's been fuck yous to horror movies throughout the plethora of horror, and production companies, and horror and angsty, punky kind of mentalities have always kind of fucking vibed together. And I think that's why the outcasts of the world kind of vibe with it so much. And the ability to be yourself and to be creatively comfortable in your own place really resonates in horror. Not more the mainstream shit, but obviously A24, obviously being an independent author and doing what you're doing, obviously an independent podcast and saying, no to the norms of what you're used to seeing and doing it our own way. Speaks a lot for the reason that we're doing what we're doing, all three of us. Yeah. And I'm fucking stoked that you're in agreement with that. I'm stoked that you're still fucking fighting through, fuck yous and no's left and right to continually put out your stories. And you did go, you tested the waters of some of that, you can go crime, you can go whatever, but you didn't like it. It didn't make you feel, complete.
Yeah.
And for guys like us, we only have done a horror podcast for a reason. We know if we shit talked all day long, we might have more views and more followers, but we like doing both in a certain aspect of cinema and history. And it's fucking dope, man. A24, CII Jones, J Squared Horror. We all got something in common, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck yeah. It may not seem it, but God, yes, we do. And it's fucking exciting, man. Is there anything you want to give the J Squared Horror fans about the up and coming book, a little synopsis, if you will?
Yeah. So in like 2 weeks, I have a book coming out through D&T Publishing. They're a great little indie publisher in the horror world.
Hell yeah.
The book is called Steam Heat, and it is a story based right here in our little hometown of Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay. Let's go Norfolk.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, I'm trying to rep. And
That's fucking awesome, man.
it is, really summed up very neatly. It is about a man in the Norfolk punk scene,
Okay.
who, after being attacked by these mysterious strangers, becomes convinced that he is spontaneously combusting.
Shit.
Just
Okay.
like burning up from the inside out.
Oh, wow.
And following that, he essentially tries to trace back to these strangers that attacked him and figures out why they attacked him. And kind of the semi-spoiler, the curse that they placed upon him, and trying to get that lifted off of him before he literally erupts into flames.
Fuck. That sounds awesome, man.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Name one more time.
Steam Heat.
Steam Heat.
So that will come out in 2 weeks. There's a great, for anybody that reads horror, you should go check this out. It's godless.com. They are a stalwart for the indie horror publishing world.
Yes, go check it out.
For 2 weeks, it'll be available for on that website exclusively. And that'll be just digital, so anybody that reads on like an e-reader or your phone or whatever, you can get it there. And then on I believe the 29th of September, it'll be releasing wide on Amazon. So if you prefer a physical copy of the book, you can get it there. And I will also have it available to buy on my website.
Which was one more time.
www.ciijones.com.
Yes, guys.
Check it out.
Yeah, you guys have supported us for this long. This guy's fucking amazing. Obviously, he's smarter than me, so I don't know why the fuck I have a podcast and he doesn't. But he writes books that you guys can enjoy. That's fucking amazing. Steam Heat, CIIJones.com. These are all things you guys need to keep in your minds. There might just be an event where you see both or all three of our faces together. We're not quite sure yet, but we'll let you know. We're in the process of figuring that out right now. This has been fucking great. CII Jones, local horror author from Norfolk, Virginia. Thank you so fucking much for coming on the J Squared Horror Podcast.
Thank you.
Blessed to be here.
This
Thank
has
you.
been so much fun. Our first in-person interview. I was sweating the whole time. I mean, my deodorant's already gone. I hope you felt comfortable. You felt like you had a good time. You're walking out here with a fucking Blu-ray. I mean, shit. What else could you ask for?
No, this is great.
Promotion and Blu-rays. You know, it's like, what else could you fucking ask for from the J Squared Horror Podcast? Damn it.
They also provided the booze.
We do.
There we go.
We know we say at the beginning of the episodes every time, pour yourself your favorite drink and come and hang out. And that's exactly what he did tonight. Might not be his favorite drink, but damn it, he got to drink something.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah, man, this was a lot of fun. Jake, do we have any idea what we're covering next week?
At this current moment, no.
No.
But
Yeah.
when you said that, it made me think about something. When we first were coming up with a name for the podcast,
Yeah.
one of the names I thought of was beers and booze. But booze like
BOOS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beers and booze, baby.
Yeah.
Beers and booze.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we're the J Squared Horror
I'm
Podcast. So thanks for making a better name mid fucking 2 years in, you fucker. Like, what the fuck was that? You could have kept that deep down. Once we turned the mics off, you could have mentioned it to
okay.
us.
What's
Yeah,
out there?
you fucking asshole.
Beers
But you
and
have no
booze.
idea what we're covering next week, but you wanted to mention a better name for our podcast.
It's not a better name.
Have you guys covered The Witch?
We have not covered
I'm
Vivitch.
sorry, The Vivitch.
We have not.
covered Bo is Afraid.
Next week, ladies and gentlemen, the J Squared Horror Podcast will be covering Bo is Afraid. Ryan, thank you so much again for submitting another fan request. Caleb also kind of signed on with it, so you guys will be shouted out next week on that episode. Don't forget, this episode comes out Thursday. A day after this episode comes out, Jake, where the fuck are we going to be?
We are going to be at the Tidewater Horror Convention.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We are going to have a table up there all weekend long. You guys can come in and be a part of the podcast. Caleb can account for how fun that is. Are you coming out to the...
Oh, yeah. I should be out there.
Text me,
for-
because
Yeah.
we can get you discounts.
Oh, yeah?
Seriously. You
Oh.
came on the podcast, dude. I don't think you should pay a penny for coming to the fucking convention.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Hit me up before Thursday, and I'll make sure you can get three
I
tickets,
love
whatever you
THC.
need.
Go every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, Tidewater Horror Convention is the biggest horror convention for us local people. It's a lot of fun. We bought a table. We're going to be up there all weekend long. We're super excited. If you guys at all want to come out, Caleb might be up there. We'll be up there. We can do on-the-spot interviews. We have an idea for like a theme of that weekend that we're super duper duper excited to get into.
Yeah.
So as always, big shout out to our main supporters, Jeff Balance, who does our design work, which, I mean, come on, bro.
Love Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, fuck.
Jeff designed my my author logo as well.
dude,
The guy rules.
Everybody here right now has had work done by Jeff Balance. Like, he's the fucking GOAT. He's the greatest. Jeff, thank you so much for doing design work for
Thank
us.
you.
He really, matches the identity of whatever you hit him with, and he fucking knocks it out of the park.
Yes.
Yes. Big shout out to Lucky Riggs, who did our intro and our outro music. Big shout out to you, buddy. Big shout out to Jake for being the world's greatest co-host the guy could ask for.
Thank you.
Big shout out to CII Jones for being the first ever interview, let alone in-person interview on the
Yeah.
J Squared Horror Podcast. Thank you so much for coming out here, dude. We appreciate it so
It
fucking
was
much.
great to be here.
This was
You
so
guys
much
are awesome.
fucking fun. Tune in next week. Boo is afraid.
Bo.
I don't know, so Bo is afraid. I don't know. Beers and bows or beers and booze and whatever.
do not confuse beers and booze.
Beers and
You
bows will be
guys are
covered
gonna
next week.
have a real good time with
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah. And I might have to take a whole weekend to watch it, but fuck it. It's like 3+ hours. So yeah. Thank you guys always for tuning into the J Squared Horror Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
This is the J Squared Horror Podcast. And remember, it's hip to be squared.